He had almost left. 40 minutes. He had been sitting at the best table in the best restaurant in the city for 40 minutes, and the chair across from him was empty. He was not a man who waited. He had built a $6 billion company on the principle that time was the one resource that could not be recovered, and that spending it on people who did not value it was the one luxury he could not afford. He called for the bill. Then the door opened. Not the woman his sister had described. A child, perhaps 5 years old. Dark curls, a coat slightly too large. The particular expression of someone who has been given an important job and is taking it seriously. She walked through the restaurant with the focused purpose of someone who knew exactly where they were going. She stopped at his table. She looked at him. He looked at her, and she said, "Are you the man my mummy was supposed to meet?" He looked at the empty chair. He looked at the child. Asteriskes, asterisk, he said. Asteriski thinks so. Asterisk, she climbed onto the chair. She put her small bag on the table. She looked at him with the complete seriousness of someone delivering important news. "My mummy's sorry she's late," she said. "She had an accident. On the way here, she's at the hospital. She told me to come and tell you she's very sorry and you should go home." He looked at the child sitting in the chair across from him, alone, in a restaurant. At 7 in the evening, asterisk brought you here. Asterisk, he said. Asterisk, walked. Asterisk, she said. Asterisk, it's not far. Asterisk, he did not go home. His name was Edward Crane. He was 41 years old and had been, for most of those years, the kind of man who made decisions based on information rather than impulse, who researched, evaluated, applied the same analytical rigor to his personal life that had produced Crane Capital and $6 billion in assets and a reputation for being, if not warm exactly, reliably correct. He had agreed to the blind date because his sister had asked him 3 times. Not because he expected anything from it. He had long since made his peace with the particular arithmetic of his life, which was full in almost every way and empty in one specific way. That he had decided was the one way he could manage without. He had agreed because his sister loved him, and because saying no a 4th time would have required a conversation he was not ready to have. The restaurant was excellent. He had chosen it, had taken the task of choosing seriously, which was the only way he knew how to take tasks. The table was good. The reservation had been made 3 days in advance. He had arrived at 7 exactly. At 7:40, he called for the bill. The door opened. He saw the child before he understood what he was seeing. The particular cognitive sequence of a brain that is expecting one thing and receives another. The half-second of genuine confusion before the image resolves into meaning. A small girl, 5 years old, perhaps. Dark curls that were slightly disheveled in the way of a child who had been moving quickly. A coat that was her mother's size rather than hers, buttoned wrong at the top. Small boots. A bag that she was holding with both hands, with the specific care of someone transporting something important. She walked through the restaurant. The Magda moved toward her, the instinctive response of someone who understood that. Small children unaccompanied in upscale restaurants required management. She looked at him briefly and continued walking with the focused purpose of someone who had somewhere to be and was not going to be redirected. She stopped at his table. She looked at him with the direct assessment of a 5-year-old who had been given a job and was now determining whether she had found the correct person. "Are you the man my mummy was supposed to meet?" she said. He looked at the empty chair. He looked at the child. "Yes," he said. "I think so." She climbed onto the chair, the particular athletic competence of a 5-year-old who climbed things as a matter of course, and settled herself with her bag on the table and looked at him with the complete seriousness of someone about to deliver important news. "My mummy's sorry she's late," she said. "She had an accident. On the way here, she's at the hospital. She told me to come and tell you she's very sorry and you should go home." He looked at her. "Who brought you here?" he said. "I walked," she said. "It's not far." "How far?" "3 streets," she said. "I know the way. I've been to this restaurant before. Mummy showed me." He looked at the child sitting in the chair across from him, alone, at 7 in the evening, in a restaurant, having walked 3 streets to deliver a message for her mother, who was in a hospital. "What's your name?" he said. "Lily," she said. "Lily," he said. "I'm Edward. Where is your mother?" "St. Ambrose," she said. "That's the hospital near the park. She fell." She said it wasn't serious, but she was making the face she makes when she says something isn't serious, but it is. "The face," he said. "She does it when she doesn't want me to worry," Lily said. "I always know." He did not go home. He took her to the hospital, not because it was his responsibility. He was clear-eyed enough to acknowledge that it was not, technically, his responsibility. The child's mother had sent her with a message, and the message had been delivered. And the appropriate response was to notify someone and go home. He did not notify someone and go home. He called for his car, the same driver who had brought him to the restaurant, and he helped Lily into it, with the slightly uncertain hands of a man who had not helped a child into a car recently and was recalibrating, and he told his driver St. Ambrose. Lily sat beside him. She looked at the car with the comprehensive assessment she brought to everything. "This is a very nice car," she said. "Thank you," he said. "Mummy's car makes a noise," she said, "when it's cold. Papa used to fix it, but he doesn't live with us anymore." "I'm sorry," he said. "It's all right," she said, with the matter-of-fact acceptance of someone who has processed something and arrived at the other side of it. "He lives in another city. I see him sometimes." She looked out the window. "Do you have children?" she said. "No," he said. "Do you want them?" "Lily, it's a normal question," she said. Mummy's friend asked her the same thing about the man she was going to meet tonight. She said she didn't know yet. "That's honest," he said. "Mummy is always honest," Lily said. "She says it's the only thing worth being." He looked at the child beside him. "She sounds," he said, "like someone worth meeting." "She is," Lily said. "But she worries too much." "About what?" "About everything," Lily said. "About whether people will like her. About whether she's doing everything right." She paused. "I tell her she's doing everything right. She doesn't always believe me." "She should," he said. "That's what I say," Lily said. Her name was Clara Reeves. He knew this from his sister's briefing. Clara Reeves, 36, architect, single mother, a friend of a friend. "Really lovely, Edward. I promise just one dinner." He knew it from the briefing, and he knew it now from the sign above the bed. In the minor injuries ward of St. Ambrose, where she was sitting with her left ankle in a support bandage, and the expression of someone who had been managing something and had just received a significant complication to the management. The complication was him. She looked at Lily. Lily, I told you to wait at Mrs. Patterson's, and at him. The particular look of someone encountering a stranger in a context that did not explain the stranger, and back at Lily. He was going to leave, Lily said. I thought it was rude to just leave. Lily, and his car is very nice, Lily said. Much nicer than ours. I'm Edward Crane, he said. Your daughter delivered your message, and then informed me she had walked 3 streets alone at 7 in the evening, which seemed like something that required a follow-up. Clara looked at Lily. I told you to go to Mrs. Patterson, she said. Mrs. Patterson wasn't home, Lily said. And I knew where the restaurant was. And I knew his name from your phone. Edward. She said his name with the particular satisfaction of someone who had solved the problem neatly. It was the obvious solution. It was not the obvious. It worked, Lily said. Edward looked at Clara. Clara looked at Edward. I'm so sorry, she said. For tonight. For, she gestured at the ward, at the ankle, at the general situation. For all of this. Don't be, he said. How is the ankle? Sprained, she said. Not broken. I'll be fine. She's making the face, Lily said to Edward. I can see that, he said. Clara looked between them. You've known each other for 20 minutes, she said. 30, Lily said. We talked in the car. He drove them home. Not because she asked. She had not asked, had in fact suggested calling a cab with the particular independence of someone who was accustomed to managing without asking for things. He had said that he had a car and a driver, and it was 10 o'clock, and her ankle was sprained, and the logic of this had been sufficiently obvious that she had accepted it. Lily fell asleep in the car, the particular sleep of a 5-year-old who had walked 3 streets, delivered an important message, navigated a hospital, and ridden in a very nice car, and had used up the day completely. She leaned against Edward. He looked at her, then at Clara, who was watching him with the expression of someone making an assessment. She doesn't usually do that, Clara said quietly. With people she doesn't know. She seems to know her own mind, he said. She always has, Clara said. From the beginning, she came out with opinions. About what? Everything, Clara said. The arrangement of furniture, the correct way to make toast, whether a person is worth trusting. She paused. She decided within about 4 minutes of meeting of meeting someone 2 years ago. What did she decide? That he wasn't, Clara said. She was right. He looked at Lily asleep against his arm. She decided something about me, he said. In the restaurant. I know, Clara said. What did she decide? Clara looked at her daughter. She called me from the hospital, she said. Before she got in the car with you, she said. Clara's voice shifted slightly into the specific register of a mother quoting a 5-year-old, Mummy, he didn't go home. That means he's a good one. He was quiet for a moment. She has a system, he said. She has several, Clara said. He came back the next day. Not because he had planned to. He had driven home at 10:30 and had sat in his apartment and had thought about a 5-year-old who had walked 3 streets alone to deliver a message. and had fallen asleep against a stranger's arm and had apparently decided within 4 minutes whether a person was worth trusting. He came back at 11 with flowers from the market, not a florist, from the actual market, which was a decision he had made without quite knowing why, and rang the bell. Clara answered the door on crutches. She looked at the flowers. She looked at him. "You didn't have to, I know," he said. "I wanted to check on the ankle." "The ankle is fine," she said. "You're on crutches," he said. "It's a sprain," she said. "Can I come in?" he said. She looked at him for a moment. The assessment, the particular consideration of someone who had learned to be careful about who she let in, and was deciding whether this required the same caution. "Edward," Lily's voice from inside, the particular volume of a 5-year-old who has heard something interesting from another room. "Come in," Clara said. He came back on Saturday. Not because she had asked. She had not asked, which he was beginning to understand was a consistent feature of Clara Reeves, who managed things alone with the particular thoroughness of someone who had learned that asking produced obligations and obligations produced complications. He came because Lily had called him. This had required some logistics. Lily had found his number in her mother's phone, which she had apparently accessed without difficulty, and had called with the specific directness she brought to everything. "We're going to the park. Do you want to come, Lily?" He had heard in the background. "Who are you calling?" "Edward," Lily had said. "He should come to the park." A pause. "I'll be there at 10, he had said. He had been there at 10. Clara had looked at him with the expression of someone who was going to have a conversation with her daughter about using people's phones without asking, and had decided the park was not the moment. They had walked, she with the ankle improving, him beside her, Lee ahead with the particular energy of a 5-year-old for whom parks were a serious undertaking, requiring comprehensive investigation. "She called you," Clara said. "She did," he said. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," he said. "I'm glad she did." Clara looked at her daughter, who was examining something near the pond with the focused attention of a scientist. "Edward," she said, single quotes, "yes. Why are you here?" She said, "Really? You don't know us. The date didn't happen. You have no obligation to." Lily decided something in the restaurant, he said. "She's 5, Clara said. "She's right," he said. "In my experience so far." Clara was quiet. "I'm not easy," she said. "I have a 5-year-old with strong opinions and a sprained ankle and a car that makes a noise in the cold, and I work too much, and I worry about everything." "I know," he said. "Lily told me." "Lily told you that you worry too much," he said, "and that she tells you you're doing everything right, and you don't always believe her." He looked at her. "You should believe her." Clara looked at him. "You sound like her," she said. "She's very persuasive," he said. She said it on a Sunday afternoon. They were in Clara's kitchen. He had come for lunch, which had become the Sunday thing without anyone deciding it should be the Sunday thing. And Lily was drawing at the kitchen table with the focused absorption she brought to all creative enterprises. Edward was making tea. He had learned where things were. "Edward," Lily said, without looking up from her drawing. "Yes. Do you like my mummy?" Clara, at the counter, went very still. "Yes," Edward said. "Very much." "Does she know?" Lily said. "Lily," Clara started. "It's a normal question," Lily said. "If she doesn't know, then someone should tell her." "She knows," Edward said. Good, Lily said. Because I drew something. She held up the paper. A restaurant. To people at a table. And between them, a small figure with dark curls. That's us, she said. On the blind date. All three of us. I wasn't at the blind date, Edward said. Not at the beginning, but you were at the important part, Lily said. That's the part one drew. Clara was looking at the drawing. The important part, she said. When I came in, Lily said. That's when it started. She went back to drawing with the complete certainty of someone who had explained something obvious. That's what blind dates are for. Starting things. She told him on a Tuesday evening. Not in the kitchen, in the park, walking, the ankle fully healed. The November evening doing what November evenings did. The city moving around them with the comfortable indifference of a city that did not require anything of anyone. I was terrified, she said, of the date. I hadn't been on one in 2 years, and I was standing outside the restaurant, and I couldn't go in. You couldn't go in, he said. I was standing there for 10 minutes, she said, telling myself to go in. And then I got a call, the school, about a form I hadn't submitted, administrative. Nothing important, and I stepped off the curb without looking, and she paused. It was a small accident, a bike. I fell. The ankle. You were standing outside, he said, for 10 minutes. Yes, she said. You were going to come in, he said. I don't know, she said honestly. I was trying to. And then the accident happened, and I called Lily, and I told her to go to Mrs. Patterson and tell her what happened and ask her to call you and explain. Mrs. Patterson wasn't home. He said. Single quotes Mrs. Patterson wasn't home, Clara confirmed, and Lily decided she was the obvious solution. He was quiet for a moment. She was, he said. She's 5, Clara said. She walked into that restaurant, he said, with the complete certainty of someone who understood exactly what needed to happen. She sat down. She delivered the message. She told me you make a face when you say something isn't serious, but it is. He looked at her. She was right about that too. She's annoyingly perceptive, Clara said. She gets it from somewhere, he said. Clara looked at the park, at the pond, at the November light, at the particular evening that had become, without her planning it, the kind of evening she had stopped believing she would have. Edward, she said. Yes, I'm glad the accident happened, she said. That sounds wrong, but I'm glad Lily walked into that restaurant. So am I, he said. She decided about you in 4 minutes, Clara said. I know, he said. What did she decide? That you didn't go home, Clara said. She said that meant you were a good one. Am I? He said. She looked at him. Yes, she said. You are. He took them both. Not a blind date. Lily had been very clear that blind dates were for starting things. And this was not a start. This was already something. And therefore the restaurant should be chosen differently. She had opinions about which restaurant. He had taken her opinions seriously, which Clara had watched, with the expression of someone observing something she had not expected, and was not sure what to do with. And they had gone to a place with good posture and a window that looked out on the street and a table large enough for 3. Lily had ordered for herself, with the complete authority of someone who knew exactly what she wanted, and saw no reason to be uncertain about it. Edward had watched her. Then he had looked at Clara. She's extraordinary, he said. I know, Clara said. She walked into a restaurant, he said, alone, at 7 in the evening, to deliver a message. Because Mrs. Patterson wasn't home, and she decided she was the obvious solution. She told me, Clara said, that she could see the restaurant from the hospital window, and that it was clearly not far. It was 3 streets, he said. To her, Clara said, 3 streets is nothing. He looked at Lily, who was eating pasta with the focused enjoyment of someone for whom good food was a serious matter. Lily, he said. She looked up. Thank you, he said, for coming to the restaurant. She looked at him with the direct assessment she always brought to things. You're welcome, she said. I knew it would work. How did you know? He said. Because, she said, Mummy showed me the restaurant before. She was excited. She doesn't get excited about things very often. She went back to her pasta. I didn't want it to not happen just because of an ankle. Clara looked at her daughter. You never told me you knew, she said. You didn't ask, Lily said. He had almost left. 40 minutes. Empty chair. He called for the bill. Then the door opened. A 5-year-old with dark curls and a coat too large, and an important message. My mummy's sorry she's late. He didn't go home. That was the beginning of everything. Here is what we learned. Some things arrive exactly as planned, and some things arrive through a 5-year-old who walked 3 streets alone because Mrs. Patterson wasn't home. The plan is rarely the point. The door opening at the wrong moment for the wrong person, that is usually the point. He didn't go home. That was all it took. Staying when you could have left, when you had every reason to leave, when the chair was empty and the bill was called and the evening was over. Stay. You never know who is about to walk through the door.